Hey guys, what's going on? What's up? It's me, Hebot. I'm back with a little video. Not necessarily something game related, but I'm trying to ask you guys for a little extension of help and maybe perhaps support if it's something that appeals to you, that is of your interest, or that you may like. Now, as all of you know, if you know me at a more personal and closer level, like families and friends, you guys know I'm a very big, long-time He-Man and the Masters of the Universe fan. I've been since I was maybe 4 years old, 5, about that. No, six or 7. But you know, you guys get the point. Basically, I was part of a project that was started way back many years ago, about 3, I would say, to be exact. And for the creator, it started maybe 4 to 5 years ago. It's a gentleman by the name of F.Carroll. Very humble guy, very nice man. And he is doing basically a documentary, or not doing, he did already, a documentary, okay, called Playmasters, which is about the Masters of the Universe toys and how important it was to pop culture and society in the early 80s or middle 80s, mid 80s, for many children and for our pop culture as we know it today. And through the years, there's been a lot of merchandising. There's been a lot of different toy variations, but not so mainstream as let's say something like maybe a Transformers with movies and G.I. Joe that also have comics and movies and and things of that nature. And most of the stuff that does come out, it's been a lot of it, but it's mainly undergrounds, if to put it in a proper term, because most people that like He-Man are the only ones that really know what's going on. As you see in my back, I have the Mattel toy line that was did by Mattel, that was sold by Mattel through an online site and store only since 2008. The very 2 figures was He-Man and Beastman, which was a 7.5-inch line with 30 points of articulation, in some places even more. Hand sculpted, hand crafted by the 4 Horsemen, which are very well known in the sculpting and toy figure business. They've been around for a very long time, and they're extremely talented. Now, I was able to be part of this documentary. He's bringing it out finally. He's releasing it on September the 9th, 2017, this year. And I'm so happy and proud to have been part of it. And I'm so happy for him. And I want him to have great success. So I want to give the word out. I want to help him spread the word so people that might not know, and perhaps this would interest them, would go out and buy the movie or the documentary, if you will, on the site. I will link everything in my video and channel underneath, the best to my ability, where you can purchase it. And it has a little trailer as well on YouTube of what he's been doing for a couple of years now. The great thing and the unique thing about John is what he did was he didn't only reach out to big, well-known people in the He-Man community that were He-Man fans, like A Pixel Dan that started at Pop Culture Network, or like, let's say, Val Staples, that he's been the not founder, but he's been he picked up the responsibilities of He-Man.org and been funding it out of his pocket basically all this time. And he did work on the 2000X art stuff, and he also did work on comics back then. I believe it was by IDW or maybe Image, perhaps. I don't remember. Don't quote me. I might be wrong. I don't remember off the top of my head. I have them, but I didn't want to bring them out because I have them stored away. There's a lot of for me to go get them out. I want to help John because he reached out to the fans, and I was lucky enough to be one of them, or selected as one of them. So he did video Skype me in an interview. It should be in the movie or in the featurettes, as or in special features or the deleted scenes. I don't know yet. Either way, I'm still proud that I was able to help him and be part of it. So I'm asking you guys that know me, that follow my channel, or that know me on a more personal level, to, if you can, please go buy the movie and support it. It's only $18. I don't know if that applies only for a DVD copy or a higher HD version in Blu-ray. Nonetheless, I'm pretty sure the details are there when you purchase it, because I haven't even purchased it myself, but I am going to purchase it this weekend. I'm just waiting for some things to clear out my bank. And, you know, again, if you see here, I have most of the, you know, different styles of He-Man toys that came out since the vintage line. And the reason why I have it that way is, if you see, I have, you know, classics, and I have the little mini ones that Mattel brought out. And if you see, I also have the Loyal Subjects, which are 1.5 inch, I think, highly articulated, hand painted, hand sculpted, and they have removable, you know, weapons and accessories. They're almost like a mini version of the classics. As you see here, I have the statue, which is a statue by NECA, which was also sculpted by the Forestmen. I have vehicles. I have the castle. I have every figure that was released, with the exception of some variants because I didn't care for them, from the He-Man line. I have artwork around my house, which I can't really show right now, but I do. I have the She-Ra toy line, doll that was done in more of a Barbie but high quality hot toy style, with everything hand stitched, which was bought. I bought it mainly with the idea for my wife and my daughter to get them in to that She-Ra lore, which is part of He-Man's lore, because that's his sister. I have the 2000X, where it started all over again with the commemorative edition, which I never got my hands on. And now I have the new Super 7 line that started just recently, which they put, as you see, in the blistered card, which was exactly representing, okay, with maybe a little bit of differences, of the vintage blister cards from the vintage figures. Now, the reason why I'm pointing this out to you guys is because in the interview, I give a story in why I do not have any of my vintage toys. And I had everything. I had every accessory, every castle, with the exception of the figures that were only released in Europe, like Sorceress, I believe was Ninjor, Scareglow, Zarad, Gwildor, Blade, and I think Blast Attack. Those were the only figures I couldn't get. They were only released in Europe, and in my area they were not released. At least not in my area here in the States. I was lucky enough to actually get the new versions of them when Mattel re-released them, because of the wonderful Scott Knightlick, which was the brand manager for He-Man at Mattel for the Mattel shop online, and because of him and his love for He-Man, we were able to get this beautiful collection that you see behind me. Maybe I'll do a video showing it one day, but there's a lot of them out there in very professional fashion that you guys can see. So, in that interview, I give the story, if I'm not mistaken, why I don't have them. And I was only ever able to acquire one piece that I found for a reasonable price, in very good condition, open, obviously, not mint. Because a lot of this stuff, since it's not being produced anymore, it's very hard to come by now, and it's very high priced in the aftermarket. Or if sellers are selling it, that they have doubles, again, they're praised and they're high, you know, with a professional appraisal, and they're very high quality and high mark as far as the condition and the blister coloring and things of that nature. So I haven't been able to really recollect all the vintage stuff, and I probably never will, because I have a family and it's too expensive, and this stuff as it is was very expensive for me to acquire. It took a long time. It took almost 8, 9, 10 years just to get the stuff I have. So again, if you be so kind, I'm part of the project. It would mean the world to me from the bottom of my heart. I'm not making anything out of this. This is not what this is for. This is for John, because I know he did it because he loves He-Man, and he wants the legacy of the story of He-Man and the people who loved it to continue with his piece of documentary called The Playmasters. There are other ones coming out as well, but those were more high quality and had higher backers than John. John did it all out of his love, the labor of love, and out of his pocket, and I believe some minute backers from his, what you call it, those special GoFundMes. that he did. So again, thank you for your time. And if you love He-Man, I think you'll enjoy it. As you guys know, I love He-Man very much. I have the games, I've had comics, I've had all these different types of pieces that have been made available through the years. So just go check it out if you can. If you don't, it's okay. I understand, because it's not for everyone. So thank you for your time again. Remember, guys, this is for a labor of love of him and myself being part of it. I appreciate your time. I'll talk to you guys soon and see you in the next video. Peace. Love you guys.